All right, we are going to start right now. This is something that everyone wants to overlook, but is actually one of the most important things that you can do for your business. My name is Lisa Phillips. For those who do not know me, I'm a real estate investing mentor and coach and advisor for those who are just getting started, especially if you're looking for houses under $50,000, and especially if you're investing out of state for the long. Investing at a state for the first time, it could be a bit intimidating, but we have the systems and processes and experience and knowledge to make it extremely easy. But I wanted to talk about something that everyone overlooks in this world. See, in real estate investing, it really can be, at least on the surface, about it doesn't matter the house, what are the numbers? And I just don't roll that way. And I wanted to bring that up because if you don't take the energy in which you're showing up and the energy in which you view your business, there is a difference between you having a very easy and smooth path to your first rental property, or if it is full of strife and struggle and strain and tension. And of course, there's exceptions to all of them, but in general, I wanted to go over these aspects. You guys, if you've been listening to any video I've done, I've always said, first and foremost, it's the energy in which I brought into my rental properties that made the difference in my success. And if you're here, you can go ahead and leave a comment too. I like seeing all the comments. And also like and subscribe. I never thought I had to say that, but the algorithm is so crazy. I have to tell you guys to like and subscribe, especially if you're on YouTube. So I've never, ever hesitated since 2013, since I've been doing videos, and everyone's talking numbers and this and that. I've never hesitated to tell people, listen, the energy in which I stepped forward into my business is the energy that pays me back. Real estate investing can go in a lot of different ways, but when I talk to people who sort of who have that mindset, I consistently see, and I've been on podcasts, I talk to real estate investors all over the country, all levels of success, from, thousands of dollars a month to, millions a year. Like, I talk to pretty much all the real estate investors at some point in some time. And it's the same thing over and over again. The ones that have the best path to success always have a bigger purpose and a more altruistic energy behind in which their business is started. Now, this works for any business you're doing. It does not have to be just real estate investing, right? But we actually have to start talking about these things as important as we talk about the numbers. We can find a property, we can find a market, we can look at the house, we can estimate repair costs to get it up and running, costs to get a renter. We can do all of those things, and we're supposed to do that. But we also need to look at you and see what you're bringing energetically to the table and how you're showing up. In some ways, some people say your mission statement and your core values, but I never made a mission statement or a core value. But I did have a certain energy I was bringing. And my energy was like, these neighborhoods are overlooked. They're affordable. I'm going to do my best to provide quality housing. And what I expect in return is a quality tenant who takes care of it. That's it. That is the energy in which I showed up in my business. And I am telling you, of all those people I've spoken to, everyone I've talked to, when you show up in this business and your energy is, how can I serve and be abundant in that way? It pays for itself 1,000 times. And of course, when you go into the intent is to make money. Like, I didn't do real estate, although some of you guys might. I didn't do it to like, oh, I want to provide affordable housing. I mean, I do, but the main goal was passive income. The main goal was financial freedom, right? And so the way you showed up, and so how it showed up for me was overlooked minority neighborhoods. Let's get it done. We can do good in here as well as make money. So you see how it was very balanced. Money was always balanced with quality. It was good housing, great tenants, right, to pay the rent each month. It was like impact the neighborhood and straighten it up, but have long-term tenants who help elevate the neighborhood in every single way. And we don't talk about the energy, but it really affects everything. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So there are investors out there who do not care. I've seen their houses. They're slummy, right? And you go in their houses and you can see by the state of the house, they do not care about the tenant. They just care about what money they can get. It's falling down. They don't want to make repairs. but you can also see the type of tenants they get. You don't get good tenants when you do that. You get sort of like the people who are like, I'll take whatever I can get, right? And that's your choice if that's what you want to take. But it's a really good example of like the energy in which you show up and that you put into the world. People can see it. Your tenants can see if you actually care. Your tenants can see if you're in it just for the money. And so, all you new investors out there, and if you're an experienced one, go ahead and leave a comment about how you show up and the energy you put out and how it attracts your clients. Let me know if you've noticed the exact same thing. But the tenants can see. They see when they go into one of my properties or one of my clients' properties, they see it might not be super upgraded, right? You still have laminate countertops, right? You still have maybe some old backsplash. It was just cheaper to leave up, even though it's like peach or some crazy color you don't use any day today. But they can also see that it was new flooring, freshly painted, new hardwood floors, not cheap this, not cheap that, right? Like they're not necessarily seeing a ton of money going into it, but they see a ton of care and thoughtfulness went into it. You don't need money if you have care and thoughtfulness. And so again, I want to reiterate, whenever I went into this, it never was like purely, I want to offer housing to like the poor. It just wasn't like I did this for money. Like, come on, like I never even tried to pretend that, but it was always balanced with like the energy in which I'm bringing it. And I'm talking about it because no one wants to talk about it. Energy and real estate investing go together because this is such a people-centered business. You will be attracting tenants who are people who are going to live in your home. It is so people-centered. You want them to see your thoughtful touches, right? And so a lot of people, so yeah, if you can share AJ about like the different things that you've put. And it's something that I find in our group, we have a certain culture. In our group, especially the sub 30K mastermind group, many of us came from working class backgrounds, right? Many of us are first generation college, the first people to have any sort of money, maybe the first to make over 70,000 a year, right? That is who we are. So it is not hard for us in my group and the people who follow this message, who invest in minority neighborhoods. It is not hard for us to care about the people in these neighborhoods because we are 20, 30 years away from being those same people. And I actually really appreciated that about our group because it makes it so that it's not a hard shoot for us to be like, no, we put enough quality in here where I would be comfortable staying in it if I was in this position, which I was 30 years ago. But you guys know what's going on outside of our community. They have no clue. They look at these folks like these people. They don't know how to relate. They don't have any of that understanding. And you really see it blows up in their face. So that's why with the sub 30K thing, I'm always like, it's good when there's people like us who go back because we understand the demographic better and we can make better moves. Right? So we can make better moves. So it's something no one wants to talk about. And then I want to take it one step further, right? So I really want everyone out there, if you want, write in the comments, what's the energy that you're putting in to your business, your rental property business? Even if you haven't started, what's the energy you're putting into it? Go ahead and share it. I want to see what some of you guys have to say. I'm really clear. Like I said, quality house, right? Not upgraded, quality house, but you pay my rent on time and you keep it up, right? Like I'm getting things out of it too. But you see, it was always a very mutually beneficial energy in which I brought. And I just got to say, I've had some hiccups, but honestly, as far as the tenant's concerned, it's been pretty smooth sailing because I do get the quality tenants. I get the tenants who see those little extra touches that we put into things and they want that for their price range. They may only have $800 or $900 a month, but they want the best $800 or $900 a month. And it is obvious in my home, even before they see the light fixtures that are changed or this, they can tell that effort was put into it. And so you get people who appreciate effort in your homes. And, I check in on my sub 30K group all the time. And I was like, how are things going? And I swear it's like 80% of the time you do have a more, I would say, easier way, like easier rental property owners. Like it's not as rough. It's not as hard as if you're in other groups where it's constant, oh my gosh, da, 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 da. But in these other groups, you also see them saying things like, do I have to pay for this? Do I have to pay for that? Right? So it's really important. And I just wanted to say it because this can be a very masculine. So Homes and a house, it's very feminine, right? I mean, men live in houses, but who makes it a home, right? The decorating, the where's the best place for, we have kids, what it is. It's a very feminine energy. But in real estate investing, sometimes we only focus on that masculine numbers, and numbers, which is very important. But I want to say you focus on both. Like, you get the numbers down, but you also energetically make sure the energy you're putting into this home, the people you're trying to attract, those softer things, those softer touches are just as important. And I am a woman, so it is probably easier for me to tap into that. But the thing is, I've seen a lot of you men who are successful. I've seen you tap into that as well. You get it as well, that the energy that you put into it is what you get out. Exactly. It is the details. Listen, you do not need money to get a quality tenant. You do need some thoughtfulness, right? You can be thoughtful, especially in our price range. So when you get up to the higher end price ranges, like you're getting the A and C class, listen, look, they want their granite, okay? If they're paying for it, they're paying for it. So there are certain places where you can't, like, thoughtfulness just isn't enough. It has to meet the standard for the price. But I think one of the beautiful things about this price range that we have found is that you get up or down, but it's more about you taking care to make sure things are functional and nice and not leaking. That is enough. So, and the other thing is too, it's how you show up in your business, right? And so this is going into a little bit more of when you think about your mindset right now, when you think about your business, and this is for the new investors who are feeling a little down. How do you think about it? When you think about it, are you like, oh man, I'm struggling? Or are you someone who's like, no, I love my business? So even then, even the way you show up, if you're optimistic, yeah, we can get this done. And I'm going to tell you about my coaching clients too, and how they show up. It really directly translates to their success. Are you like, oh, Lisa, I don't know if this is possible? I'm like, look, we do it every day. It's very possible. Every day we're finding them. I'm looking at properties every day in this price range. Honestly, sometimes there are 35 and 40, 30,000. Those still exist. It's not all 50 or 55, right? And I have some, and so I tell them, yes, they exist. Are you willing to travel? You are? Then you're good. And I have clients show up, and I always have to reroute their brain. And it's just like, I have two clients, and they might be looking in the same city. And one's whole energy is like, I don't think this is possible. I don't know. And oh yeah, I had 3 looking in the same city, and one was really negative, and the other 2 are very positive. So it's also energy like that. How are you showing up to every opportunity? When you show up to an opportunity, are you like, this isn't possible? I'm just going through the motions, but I don't think it's possible. Are you like, yeah, of course it's possible. I'm just going to apply what I've learned from Lisa and try it. So I will have 3 people looking in the same city, because that can happen sometimes. Sometimes I might have, like, I do a group coaching calls, and I might have 3 people who are all in Florida, right? And so they find sort of the same. With my methods, I'm really methodical about, they might find all the same city. And the 2 with the optimistic mindset, finding houses. Interestingly enough, they're finding different houses. Isn't that crazy? They're finding different houses. We are looking week to week in the same markets, okay? I have 3 people looking in the same market. And 2 with the positive mindsets are finding different. This one didn't see this one saw this one. And it's how I do it, because I look at different places. I don't just look at the major MLSs. So it depends on where you look, where you can find these other houses. And I teach this. But yeah, and guess what? Guess what? That one person who was super negative didn't think I knew what I was talking about. Didn't think this was possible, but they're going through the motions. Guess what? Same city, couldn't find anything. And I was like, oh, gotta tell, I tell people and tell them, you have to show up in the energy in which you want to receive. If you want to receive negativity, show up negative, thinking it's not possible. You want to receive infinite possibilities, show up optimistic. So there's 2 levels. Not only is, like, the core value of what you're going to give to your clients as important as the numbers. And I can't say more than enough that you just have to trust me on this one. You have to trust me. This is just as important. Would I say it's more important? No. but I say it's just as important. It's not a least important aspect. And the people who have smooth businesses and smooth sailing and smooth successes show that. One of my proteges is David, and he's in the Facebook group, David Ng, if you check him out. And I love him because he really embodies everything I'm trying to get across. This is just a tool. And this is a tool to a greater good, to a greater service to the communities. And he started with like listening to my videos like on repeat, and he listened to it while he was driving, to purchasing. And then he was purchasing for himself, and then it got into property management. And the cool thing about him, he just posted that he's gotten to the point where he's sort of like independent, and he was able to open a youth center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I forget where. Maybe if someone knows, post it. And he had 250 kids show up for his Halloween. And he was able to open, and it's a meditation studio, teaching kids, mostly Black kids in the inner city, how to be mindful, a different way of doing things, how not to be reactive, how to be responsive, how to take time and digest emotions, how to meditate. And he's been working on this for some time, but whenever we spoke throughout all of this, and I like to show him as an example because he really embodies, so he's an Asian man, right? But he's here to serve, right? Like that does not matter, even though my sub 30K and who I target is this, that does not matter. Like you're welcome if you have that right energy. But his energy was like, listen, this is a means to an end. And what did he do with all these rental properties? Not only did he have a relatively smooth, like you're always going to have problems, don't get me wrong, but relatively smooth last 8 years, but also get it to the point where it's self-sufficient, started property management, but opens up a youth center where 200 kids show up for Halloween safely, with all the requirements. He has a mindfulness studio that's full, right? So all the kids are coming, everything's full. Like the local kids who haven't seen things like that and their parents are signing them up. And it really just goes to show his energy from the very beginning was like, who are we here to serve? And the energy showed through. So yes, we're doing real estate investing. Yes, we're putting money where our mouth is. But at the end of the day, we always showed up knowing that like we have a greater purpose. And yes, we're making money, but the money is a tool. So not only was it a tool to get to like the higher purpose, but just like the whole energy around David and what he's done has always been like, I'm good. I want to make money, but I want to take all my blessings that I have and share it with those who don't get the opportunity. And not only that, he goes to like, some of the roughest neighborhoods, and he's always been like that. And so I want to make him an example because energy is not some thing that's like this low key. Like it really determines how, I would say how easy it's going to be for you. Now, especially in this practice, it's such a human focused event. So even if I don't meet my tenants, I haven't met any of my tenants face to face, the energy in which I put into my house, the details and the prompt repairs, like Lily was saying, in which I did that, all of that adds up. So I haven't met any of my tenants, but they're well taken care of. They're provided for. They know it. They pay on time. And I just have an ease, and they're trying to stay there. How you doing, Ryan? Yeah. So all of these things matter. So I wanted to just sort of stop with that, sort of give an example of like how you can show up in a certain way and how not only is it how you're going to start and what your initial intention is. And if you don't have this intention, like search in your heart, search in that heart of yours for something a little bit bigger than yourself and try to take it into every interaction and see the difference it makes. Now, if you do it and there's no difference, all right, give up. But I'm 100% telling you, the people I've met who are really successful, but not just successful and happy, right? Because you can be like Grant Cardone, like he has money, but is he happy? FBI investigate, is he happy? He doesn't seem happy to me, right? But I meet these other real estate investors. I go on their podcast and, we talk before the podcast, we talk after the podcast, and you get to know them. And I generally link up with people who have the same ideas. And yeah, they may have X amount, thousands of dollars a month in cash flow, but we're happy people. So never underestimate the importance of how stress-free and how happy you will actually be when the intention behind your business is aligned with something a little bit bigger than yourself and the money. And you can combine those two in a smart way for maximum effect, not only for you, but your tenants. And two, I just want to say I work with people all the time your mindset and your optimism will directly affect what you can see. Because if you show up thinking you can't not see it, you won't. But if you show up thinking you can, I've seen miracles happen. Like, honestly, that's what I call when I'm working with my clients and I'm seeing all these houses that are 35, 40K. And I was like, dang, that's a good condition, right? Like, it's straight up miracles. And not that you need a miracle to do it, but I'm just like, wow, the ease of use. But like the energy and optimism which they're showing up to their business makes a difference. So I'm just going to end on that. It's just something that was on my heart to talk about. Jacqueline says, see, Miss Sab. Yes. I'm working with her for some time. Most of my tenants are in subsidized rent. And if I can provide rehab touches that impart luxury, they might not experience, I feel like I've helped. Yeah. And all of these things are things you can choose to do or choose not to. And the energy behind this is like, oh, I know they'll like this. I'm going to tell you something, Jacqueline. Everyone knows when someone did something with the intention, I know they'll like this, right? I know when I walk into a kitchen that someone did a little bit of luxury for me. I know it. I know when I go into a restaurant. I know when I go into a clothing store. I know when someone took the time, said, I know they'll like this, especially when it comes to people's home. And home, like I said, is such a human-centered activity. When you make sure that that's always centered in your diagnosis, you're going to come out on top. And so I'll just take questions for now for anybody who has any. Derek says, I will do Zoom community talks, probably next week. Okay. Derek asks, do you believe this day and time in this economy getting 5 units in under 6 years? 100%. Yeah, easy. Yeah, no problem. Easy. It just depends on you and if you have the funds to sort of acquire and at what pace. Do you do 1 a year? Do you do 2 a year? What do you have available to get it done? 100% easy. Yeah. Any other questions before I just wanted to tap in and talk about the things that we don't talk about. What's the energy that you show up in? And if you guys have an example of the different energy that you show up in that you feel really has helped either in building the business or getting the best tenants or keeping good tenants or just having ease of use. Someone said there is such a luxury in showing up every day and being honest, having integrity, being thoughtful, and what that could do, and that you can end up and realize that the reason you have no drama is because you showed up every day in that light. And I remember that quote and I was like, that is so true. I might not have the biggest group of friends because I keep it real honest and, I don't stand for a lot of nonsense, but the ones I have don't cause me drama, right? And I do wake up every day in this business and I can show up and I can go, yeah, like I delivered on this and I did my best and I stand by everything I did. And that's about the energy of like integrity and honesty and standing by your product and craftsmanship and workmanship. I don't know. Maybe it's because my dad was blue collar. I grew up with blue collar values. So I grew up with the values of like, you need to stand by your product. You need to stand by your work ethic. And even I actually think that's a bonus and a blessing because you cannot go wrong if you grew up. My mom was always telling me about different unions and whatnot. And they're like, they put their name on everything because they are proud of their work. And I have that. And I always brought that. And I try to impart that to other people. And it goes into energy. But it's like, that's also energy, the energy of integrity and honor. And like, this is my name and my product. And this is how it is going to be presented to the world. Right. And it's something that no one wants to talk about. But in this people to people business, and we're house to house like this, and we're a bit small, it actually makes more of an impact because whatever you think and discuss will be seen. Whatever thoughtfulness that you want to do will be seen. It's very visceral. It's very real. So I would say in this one, because of that, being able to willingness to stand by your product, stand by your workmanship, stand by your craft, it has greater impact and people can see it. And I know I've always benefited with the best tenants. They take care of the place. They do call me for repairs. I got one that's annoying me, but everything's getting fixed, right? But they take care of my place. So every time I have a tenant turnover, it's not some big mess. Nope. I get the people who walk in. Not only do I check their tenant, and I screen them, but I get the people who appreciate those thoughtful touches, and it continues to bless it, and they continue to take care. And it's what I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence. My standing by the integrity and honor and energy of which I brought to that house is why this happens, 100%. And I've met millions of others who've had the same relatively easy experience. I say relatively because things come up. Repairs need to be made. This might be uncovered. Maybe you get a slightly not the best tenant, although that hasn't been my thing. But so things come up. But for the most part, you know, I'm unlined, I'm stress-free. And everyone, you know, it's just a conversation we don't have. So I just want to, you know, finish up with that. Integrity. Stand by your product. Stand by your house. Bring the energy in which you would like someone to treat you. Trust and believe and show up optimistic and not doubtful, because if you do, like, you truly do determine your outset. So I'm just answering a few more questions. Yeah, Section 8 is fine. You know, at the end of the day, it's per tenant. So you just want to check the tenant out. Sometimes they're a little annoying because they'll have you like fix everything in the house. But, you know, they're not too bad. It really just depends on what city. Yeah, that's enough. I have some people, Derek, where it's like they can save about that much each year and they'll take the rents from their properties, but that's enough to get a house a year. Easy. Easy, Derek. Thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate that comment. I've been having fun with them too. Jacqueline said, my Section 8 tenants are the absolute. I'm telling you, like, you have all these horror stories out there. And I'm like, I create a product. I stand by my product. My product is for them and it's for me. And guess what? An online stress-free face. That is what I want to. They cause no drama. They pay rent on time. And I have some who've been in my properties for decades. Girl, I'm telling you, I got this one since 2013. They're great. We keep the place up. My place is well cared for. And again, do I raise rent on them? No, because I don't want to deal with turnover every 2 years. That takes all your profit that you might make. Now, if they move out, I'll go up to market rent, right? As long as they stay, yeah, you under market for a reason. You're under market because you're a good tenant. So if you ever get a property that has a tenant and it's under market, that is why it's under market. They were a good tenant. They kept out for the place. They looked after the place. Your place was in good hands versus having people in and out who might not care as much. Oh, you know what? So I'm editing the book. So I have 2 books that I'm releasing. I think I'm going to do. So the first book is the book. I'm editing it now. So I have the first draft, and then I have to. This is so challenging. You got to like go over your book again, and I have to edit just to make sure it's cleaned up and professional, and then edit one more time. And that one is Buy This, Not That House. And so that will be in the next month. It's on my to-do list. Guys, my to-do list is like this long, but it's on my to-do list like for this week to do the editing and get it all done so I can send it back to the editor again. So Buy This, Not That House. I like the name. So I will let you guys know. I think you really like it. That one is really geared towards, I've been working with all my coaching clients, and I put like the different things when we're looking at houses together in markets, all the things I tell them that I just, you know, all the details of the secrets and this and that and things that you just really don't know unless you're like an experienced investor, all the little tips and tricks that I'm going to put it in there. So like, even if you're new, you can read the book and be like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. It's almost like listening directly to me to my group coaching calls. Can you raise it to $5? Yes. Raise it. What are you talking about, Yvonne? I'm not quite sure. You know, they have honestly a little bit with the cost of labor, because as you guys all know who's out there right now, the cost of labor is going up and it's pretty annoying. Getting around that by getting more estimates and just shuffling around with different contractors. So that's really where it's coming into play. So we'll have to wait and see. Right now, the costs were so low to acquire the property that I don't have to be really stringent on. Oops. Okay, I gotta get going. It's sort of time to pick my daughter up. So love the first book, by the way. Thank you. So if you guys want to sign up for, or just if you guys want to just talk one-on-one and come up with like an investment plan, like Derek's like, I have this much, and going up with like what's a real timeline, possible markets, da 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 da. and just talk to someone one-on-one about doing it and seeing where you can do this, you can sign up for a coaching, a strategy session call. We can build a custom plan for you. Love to hear from all of you guys. And with that, good evening. And I hope this was like a little different than what we usually do, but like you understand the intent is that this is just as important, and it makes the difference between stress-free and easy versus strife and struggle. And like, we're done with struggle. Okay. Like, I'm done with it. And I hope you are too, but you have to think about the other person just as much as your pocketbook. Simple message, but it needs to be said. All right. Talk to you guys later. Sign up if you want to call. Bye. Hey, I did a live yesterday and I wanted to add an extra portion that I forgot to mention, and that it was about energy that you bring and mindset. So some of you guys are on your own and you are investing in, or you're trying to invest, you're trying to get your start, you're reading everything, but sometimes you feel so hopeless because all of the information you're getting is conflicting. It contradicts each other. You don't know which ones to listen to. They all sound right. So how do you know which one's wrong before you put all your money down? And I want to say, if you seem to be getting to that point where you're feeling really hopeless, like all is lost, like you can't do this, this is for other people, that's honestly just a sign that you need to shift into a different mindset, because it is possible. And maybe that's when you want to work with someone to smooth through all those issues, smooth through those pains, smooth through those conflicts, and you don't know which one to take. Speak to someone and work with them. And that's when a mentor is really necessary, when you feel really lost and hopeless. Because if you can just ask someone a question and find out, oh yeah, both advice is pretty good, but in this case you want this one because of this price range and these demographics, that's just so much easier. So also the last thing part of that was, if you're feeling lost and, doubtful, don't hesitate to reach out. There's different mentors. I'm one. Half the people I've worked with are now mentors, which is sort of funny, creating this. And you can reach out, and just, even if we did book a small call, like, we can go over all those issues, because there's no reason for you to sit there in doubt and pain and frustration and stress. Like, release that. We don't need to do that anymore. Like, the answers are there. You just have to have the experience, or talk to someone with the experience, to put it in perspective. So as I mentioned before, you can always sign up. I'll put a link below to schedule and book a call. I'd love to speak with all of you guys and just go over these things, especially if you need to shift to the opportunities and the optimism. Well, you just need to sometimes get these answers, questions, and go get these roadblocks cleared. And talking with an experienced mentor can do that for you. So I'd love to work with you, and click on the link below. Talk to you soon. Bye.